because I want to talk to the entrepreneurs that are listening to this that's afraid to leave their job. Because I'm gonna ask you a personal question. You was making six figures.
Yes, the high six figures.
The high six figures, and you left that to go work 80, 90, 100 hours a week and start your own business and ask somebody for $140 a month. Are you crazy?
And so for me, I launched a business because the name The Master Connector came from my husband, but the business came from God. And I tell people, once you bet on yourself and you operate in your God-given talents, it soars. But it soars once we start betting on ourselves.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Execute Podcast with your host, Herman Dalsey, aka the Haitian CEO. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about sponsorship, business, marriage, and actually jumping into entrepreneurship for the first time. We have a special guest, Nichole Harmon, point de vue, because you are married to a Haitian man.
I am married to a Haitian man. You said it better than me.
I wanted to make your husband proud when he watches this video.
Okay,
like,
good.
That's my folks right there.
That's your folks.
He said her married name, not just her maiden name. Absolutely. Nichole, Thank you so much for coming on the pod. What people don't know behind the scenes, we was kikiing and gossiping like a week or two ago for like an hour and change.
We were talking about facts.
Facts. We talk about facts. A 10-minute phone call turned into like an hour and change. And I'm so glad that you made some time. We are here in Atlanta. Yeah. And I'm full of gratitude for this. We're going to talk about this amazing book in a second, The Master Collector, right?
Master
Connector. We're going to talk about, my first question is that name. Let's talk about how'd you brand yourself that.
That's a great question. Mm-hmm. So my husband, Mr. Point de Jour, he gave me the name because he would see people calling me all the time, asking me for different connections and different things and different access. He's like, you're always connecting people. You're like the master connector. And on Instagram, my name was like something like Nikki Baby or something that I had since college for forever. And he was like, you're the master connector. And so we went on Instagram and nobody had the name, and that's where the name came from.
Your husband.
My husband.
Look at that.
I
love it. What does the Master Connector do? What do you do? I know what you do. You got to tell these folks what you do.
Yeah, that's and I love that question. You have some good questions off the bat. So the Master Connector, I connect people to tools, resources, sponsorships, things that help them grow and scale their business. So that's what I do. So if you say, hey, I need X, Y, and Z, I know somebody over here that has X, Y, and Z. So I broker a lot of deals. I'm always a liaison, and I'm always connecting people to opportunities, people, resources, tools, information. That's what the Master Connector does.
What is the most important resource that people come to you for?
Sponsorships. Community. Connections. And access. Access.
Okay. Oh, you just gave me a lot there. All right. I want to start with access because we were just talking about Tyler Perry. I want you to tell the people that amazing story about Tyler. That was crazy.
You know, it's funny. So I'm from New Jersey, but worked in New York my whole entire life. And
we could hear it.
Oh, you can hear it coming out. Like I'm a Jersey girl, but I worked in New York. So I always say Jersey raised me, New York paid me. But I moved to Atlanta 5 years ago. And when I moved there, you see Tyler Perry everywhere, Tyler Perry Studios. You see his name on the highway. And I'm like, I'm going to meet Tyler. Something in my mind, or maybe God put in my brain, like, you're going to meet him. And so literally 3 days ago, before I came on your podcast, there was an event called the Aware Fest that Robert Smith puts on to raise money for HBCUs. I'm an HBCU graduate. I scream all things HBCU. The United Negro College Fund gave me a scholarship while I was in college, which is how about HBCUs? Wow. Yeah, so I always do all things HBCUs. And at the conference, they had a private gala that I got access to, invited to. Then they had a fireside chat with Robert Smith, Tyler Perry, Damon John, and the CEO of the Southern Company. And it was like $1,000 a ticket to go to the chat. And I was like, oh, I don't want to give these billionaires my $1,000. That's what my mindset was, but it's all about access. Come to find out, one of my girlfriends was like, I got an extra pass if you want to come. I'm like, sure, of course. So I go. And the funny thing is about this conference is the first panel, my friend Frank, he was interviewing them. He's a CNBC news commentator. I said, if there's a chance to ask a question, please call on me, because that's also access to information, right? Like I know people that are on the panel. And so the first panel was Robert Smith, Damon John and the CEO of the Southern company, Tyler wasn't on that panel. So my friend's like, okay, time for questions. Let's pick on my friend here. And I'm like, wait, no. I want Tyler.
Y'all want Tyler.
Right,
I'm hollering.
I'm trying to like send him a message like, don't ask me a question for this panel. I want it for the next one.
Yeah.
So then the next one comes and they sent my friend a note. And I guess they were like, they don't have time for questions. I didn't know this. But in my mind, I'm like, I got a question for Tyler. Like, I always thought that I'm going to meet him and I'm going to ask him a question. So my friend on the stage was like, okay, we're wrapping this up. Like, stay seated while they get off the stage. I said, wait, I got a question.
That's what you did?
That's what I did in front of everyone. I just, in my mind, I had the question and I already was preparing what I was going to ask Tyler.
Right.
And so I just raised my hand in the audience. And then Robert Smith goes, well, let's take her question. Let's see what she got to say. And I was like, okay. So then I stood up. I'm usually not as vulnerable, but something made me vulnerable in this space because Robert Smith said he used to work on Wall Street as an investment banker and left to be a full-time entrepreneur. Now he's a billionaire. I was an investment banker on Wall Street first before I was an equity trader. Yes.
Hello.
Right? So that was already speaking to my spirit. So I stood up and I just said, I'm Nichole, Point de Jour. I'm the CEO of the Master Connector Agency. I do events called In the Room where the deals are done. And I interview multimillionaires to tell their story so that people can hear, like, to learn about your career trajectory. Also, the room is filled with corporate executives at a VP level and above and successful entrepreneurs. So I created a room where, deals can get done. And I said, I haven't interviewed a billionaire yet, y'all. So if any one of y'all want to, be my next interviewee, I'm open to it.
Shoot your shot.
Shoot your shot.
Right.
And so Robert goes, well, Tyler got plenty of time. He could do it, which was funny, right? And the crowd starts laughing. And then I said, but my question is, I want to know, what advice would you give an entrepreneur that's new to this space? I left Wall Street after 21 years, and Robert was like, good job. And I said, but I'm doing it scared, y'all. Doing it scared. And that was vulnerable for me because people see me and they're like, she has it all together. And every day I work at it, but entrepreneurship is scary.
Right. Extremely.
I know how to be a Wall Street executive. I've been that for 21 years of my life. But being an entrepreneur, I'm learning every single day. And so Tyler gave me this advice and he said, keep doing it. Do it scared. He said, success to my mother looked like getting this job, making $800 a week. And that's success to her with the benefits and all those things. But I saw something different. And he said, it's going to be hard. It's going to be rough. You're going to have naysayers, but you do it anyway. And so I hear him saying that all the time. And then I happened to run into him at another part of the event. And he put his hand out and shook my hand and was like, I want you to keep going.
Damn.
Right?
From Tyler. And
he's so tall because I was like, well, can we do a selfie? And he's up there and he's like, give me your phone. And we just took a picture.
Wow, Nichole. And you spoke that up. You spoke that would happen and it happened.
I said, and I was like, well, are you going to do my event? Right? Because let's speak that into existence too. Because if I can interview Tyler Perry,
it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
What did he say?
So they were saying that he is busy, but follow back up in a couple months. So you know what I'm going to do, follow up, because I talk about that in my book, The Art of the Follow-Up. But follow back up. So, and I got his access to, I got his information from one of the people in his camp. So
do you have his information or his people's information?
His people's information.
Very good. You're going to email him every month until.
Every month?
Yes. Like, I'm not going to follow up in 3 months. I'm going to follow up in the next 30 days. And then I'm going to follow up in the 30 days after that. But like, it's a, and now this is me. Like, you take it if you want. It was a pleasure to meet you today. I look forward to following up in a couple months. That's the first email I would have sent when I got home. Then I would have sent one. Yeah. Then I would have sent a 30-day, hey, just want to keep you on top of mind. Because they're busy.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And they're meeting people like you every day. So, hey, want to keep you on top of mind. I'm definitely going to reach out in 60 days, but just want to keep you up. 30. We're 30 days out. Here's a copy of I want to send you guys a free couple copies of my book. And then on that 90th day, I remember that girl, Nichole. She's really on it. That's how I would handle it.
I like it. And I want to say something. So there was an event that happened the next day, and my girlfriend invited me, and it was like it's called Emerging 100. So everybody was in sundresses and dressed up, and my girlfriend was like, I got another ticket. Do you want to come? I wasn't dressed up for that. I wear black pants, sneakers, and a shirt. That's my uniform. That's comfortable, right? That's what I know. I'm very comfortable. And I was at a previous event for one of my members. She was like, just come. And I'm like, I don't really feel like going, but you know what? I'm going to go. Everybody in there is dressed in their nines with their cocktail dresses, heels, everything. I'm in there with my sneakers, my pants, whatever, but I'm there. A guy that saw me in the suite that was with TP, was like, I saw you yesterday. I was like, yeah. And I was like, what do you do? And I was like, do you work with Tyler? He's like, yeah, he's one of my friends. So we connected. But I tell people that story, right, Herman, to say like, do it when you're tired, do it when you're scared, just go, because you never know who you're gonna meet, right? And so
right. You know what's crazy, ladies and gentlemen? Did you see how now is TP now? Like you saw what she did that. You know what I'm saying? Not even like she got a nickname. My home. Oh, T, that's my guy. You saw what she did there. I want to get into the nitty gritty, but before I do that, I want to give you a shout out, because some people don't understand that you have to be in the room, right? You have to be in the room, but it's not just you have to be in the room. What do you do when you get in the room? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like your girlfriend, she got you in there. The rest was up to you.
The rest was up to me.
The rest was up to you.
Yeah. And on top of that, like I said, you have to be in the rooms, but what you do when you're in the rooms and do, like, I could have said, no, I'm not going to that event because I didn't have on a sundress, but then I wouldn't have met somebody that saw me at a certain space. And I also want to say that people look at you at where you are. If you're meeting me in a private suite, obviously I'm doing something right, or know somebody to be there. So that's why he probably was like, what do you do? Right. And asking me more about that. So don't be scared to, don't turn down places to go out. Things to go to. But when you're in there, like what you do, shoot your shot, have your elevator pitch. I teach that in my community. The elevator pitch is so important, y'all. It's a 60-second spiel of who you are and what you do. 60 seconds. My elevator pitch is, I'm Nichole Jour. I'm the CEO of the Master Connector Agency. We have the tools, resources, and people that you need to help you grow and scale. That's it. It's less than 60 seconds. And if you want to know more, I'll tell you. We have a community. We teach sponsorship. I'll get into that. But that's who I am in 60 seconds.
I love it. That's actually pretty good. That's really good. Me, when I get in these rooms, what do you do? I help people get six figures in 60 days. And then they be like, huh?
Right.
And they're like, well, how do you do that? And then I'm like, oh, you're interested. Then I suck you in. Yeah. One of the most popular things you are known for in your connection that you do is helping people get sponsorships. Yes. Let's get into that, because that just absolutely blew my mind when we were talking the sponsorships that you have gotten for your clients, NDA. How you have helped them grow their business, because I do funding, so I understand how capital is so important. So, and then we have to go talk about your Wall Street days and how you pivoted. But right now, tell me about that business model and how you help people get sponsorships for their business, or you even teach them how to do it, because you're not a gatekeeper. You teach it or you do it for them. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, no, I think great question. So, as I mentioned, I was on Wall Street for 21 years. The last 5 years, I was head of national sponsorships at JP Morgan. And so I knew what it meant to get corporate dollars. I knew how to do it because I was the one that was in charge of a budget for a major institution and giving out dollars to help to close the racial wealth gap in the community. I've helped some people get their first six-figure sponsorship, multiple six-figure sponsorships. And so when I left and I launched my own company, I would do events called In the Room where the deals are done. And I'm like, I know that I have a quality product here. I'm bringing in Atlanta's elite. I'm bringing in corporate executives that are VP level and above. I'm bringing in successful entrepreneurs that are 6, 7, 8 figures. The mayor of Atlanta, the old and the new, came to my first event. I interview a multimillionaire at each event. So I need corporations to sponsor my business because, again, you go further together when you have corporations backing you, and you also helps with the cost, right? Because events cost a lot of money to put on.
Listen.
Exactly, right? They're 5 or 6 figures to put them on. And so my first event that I did, I asked 3 of my friends that had small businesses that were doing well, like, do y'all want to sponsor? You want to be in this room? The key to sponsorship, and I'll give you this tidbit because that's part of my business, so we have all these different programs that we could talk about, but it's showing the value to both sides. That's write that down. Showing the value to both sides. Right. Why do they want to sponsor your business, and why do you need them to sponsor your business? That's the value for both sides. Okay. So because I knew what I was doing and I had proof of concept, I had those 3 small business owners. I said, hey, you want to be in this room with these corporate executives? They could buy your products. So they're like, yeah, no problem. I'll write you a check to sponsor. So I had 3 small business sponsors. The third one, I had Dr. Eric Thomas. Everybody knows E.T., the hip hop preacher. Yeah. I was releasing my book. And so I got Amazon to sponsor. That was a huge deal because I was only in business 4 months at the time. I'm not an influencer on social media yet. I don't have the 200 followers like you, 200,000 followers like you. But at the time, I think I had maybe 6,000 followers. I'm not on social media, but I know how sponsorships work. I showed them the value of why they want to be in this room. Wow. And all you need, I tell people this all the time, all you need is one big organization to start. and the rest follow.
What do you mean by that?
Meaning, once Amazon says, I want to partner with you and sponsor your event, then Puma came on after. Then Truist came on after.
It was a trickle effect.
A trickle effect, because now you have proof of concept and you're saying, Amazon sponsoring my small-owned business, like, obviously she's credible in what she's doing. And I do want to tell you, to get corporate sponsorships, it takes a long time, meaning it takes at least three months sometimes, because they have to go through all of your paperwork and make sure you're credible and all the things, because they're putting their brand on you. But it's worth it in the end, because you get to say, my small-owned business was sponsored by Amazon.
So what you're saying is, like, so if Nike, they're a big company.
Yes.
If Nike came on and sponsored, then maybe a smaller company like like Puma will come on after that. Yeah. So then you go to the next sponsor and be like, hey, I got Nike and Puma.
Yes. Like, yeah, exactly. What do you want to do?
What do you want to do?
And I tell people too, that's a great example, because sometimes people always go for the big fish. Like, I give the example of Verizon. That's the most known, AT&T, Sprint, Verizon. But Cricket Wireless has a budget too.
Hello.
So people don't look at the opposite, right? We always think of the biggest one, but sometimes the smaller ones will give you more money because they're trying to get more of their branding out there.
Listen to that. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, yes, go for the big fish because that's important. But if you could just get a corporation, just one to back you, that's proof of concept for when you go to get more.
Do these sponsorships, like, say, for instance, Amazon, right? Can you, and I'm doing a conference every year. Do I have to repitch them every year?
Yes.
Or can I get on a contract, hey, can you sponsor my event for the next 3 years?
Yes and no. And what I mean by that is, when a corporation doesn't know you and it's new, it's a test and learn.
Okay.
So what usually is, a sponsorship is 1 year. A partnership is multiple years.
Oh, say that again?
A sponsorship is 1 year.
Yeah.
A partnership is multiple years.
Okay.
So we start with a sponsorship, but the goal is to become a partner. With them.
That's a gem right there.
That's a gem. Write that down. And so the sponsorship is, you have an event, they come, you blow them away. People get lost in the follow-up, meaning they took the company's money, but they didn't ask them where your KPIs met, which are key performance indicators. Did you get what you needed? Did you get the, like, you have to follow up with those organizations to make sure that they're happy too. So you do that follow-up after the event is done and say, can we have a conversation for next year? Then once you have that proof of concept and both people are happy, then you say, I'm doing this every year. What does a 3-year contract look like? But you start off with that 1 year as a proof of concept to make sure that they're satisfied and you're satisfied and the metrics are there. And it's the same thing I tell people that are corporate workers. When you get a job, everybody I mentor, you ask your manager, what does success look like in this role? Tell me the top 3 things that you think success is in this role. So that way you can make sure you're tracking towards that. Because at the end of the year, so many times, especially with us, I saw on Wall Street, we get our performance reviews and they're like, you didn't do these 3 things. And you're like, oh, I thought I was doing it right doing this. But if you got those clear indicators, 3 top objectives that the boss wants and that you can hit those targets, it's a no-brainer for them to promote you and pay you. So same thing for a sponsorship. What does success look like for you with the sponsorship? And and then you track towards it at your event and make sure that they're taken care of.
That is amazing information. Thank you very much. Sponsorship to partnership. For a company like Amazon, right? Versus Chase. If I want Chase to sponsor my event, Chase is going to want X amount of signups, somebody getting a mortgage loan, somebody getting a credit card or 2. What are some KPIs for somebody that's a little bit more ambiguous? What does a win look like for a company like Amazon if they sponsor my event?
So I have to give you very high level.
Obviously.
Yeah. But obviously, like, understanding what their goals are for the year. Okay. So just straight up asking the company, what are your goals? And then you track towards that. So one of their goals that I knew was, not just theirs specifically, but companies want talent. Like, we want the best and the brightest as employees of this company. I'm doing an elite event with nothing but talent. So it's like a no-brainer for you.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah. It could be like a job fair.
It could be a job fair. Yeah,
as far as they're concerned.
Exactly.
Really?
Like, I'm bringing in the top executives. It's not just a regular everyday employee. These are vice presidents, executive directors, CEOs in this space that you can market to.
So whenever these sponsors give money, they definitely want something in return from it.
Of course.
Or is there a little avenue where, hey, we have a budget that we have to give away anyway? What is that called? Lord, hey, I got to give this money anyway.
So sometimes they do have money they give away, but at the end of the day, every company, small business to Fortune 500 company, wants to be the company of choice. You want to be the company of choice. I want to be the company of choice. Amazon want to be the company of choice, right? And so sometimes it's just marketing, building brand awareness.
All right.
You know what I mean? So sometimes it's brand awareness. But of course, at the end of the day, in any business, they want to be the company of choice.
Okay. All right. So let's have a little masterclass now. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Let's have a little masterclass. So Sloan Academy is an amazing mentorship program that I have. We do quarterly high ticket events where it's like 10K for you to show up. 100, 150, 200 people show up to this, right? I present that. Walk me through how HaitianCEO is going to get a general sponsor. We don't have to be specific with Amazon, Verizon. What are the 5 things that I need to do to set myself up to get a sponsorship for September?
Yeah. So again, high level, because
it's
part of my class. So I'm trying to not give you all the gems,
all
but
the
give you enough so that you know. But the first thing is you want to find companies that care about what you're doing.
They align.
Okay. That care about what you're doing, that align. So I tell people all the time, if I'm a health foods company and McDonald's wants to sponsor, it doesn't align.
That'd be crazy. Yeah, McDonald's is your sponsor.
Exactly. Right? But I've turned down sponsorships because it didn't align with my brand. And I was new. I didn't have, at the time, I didn't have any sponsors, but this one company wanted to sponsor, and like we have money, but they wanted me to use their production, their this, their that. And I'm like, no, I have my team already. So I turned it down. So you don't have to take every dollar. And when I turned it down, Amazon came.
Look at that.
So look at that. Like, don't be scared if a brand doesn't align with your brand. So the first thing is you have to find companies that care about what you're doing.
Okay.
And then again, it's just showing the value to both sides. Like, you want to be a part of this Bella Collective, you said? What is
Bella
it?
Sloan.
Bella Sloan Academy, because we're doing X, Y, and Z. I'm going to put you in front of X, Y, and Z. This is going to help you with your metrics X, Y, and Z. This is great brand awareness for you because you're bringing them their target audience. So that's really what it is. So you find the company that aligns, and then you also show the value to both sides. Okay. And one thing I'll tell you, and I will drop this gem, and then we got to move from the sponsorship because it's part of my, don't be scared to take a small dollar amount.
What do you mean?
So I have people all the time tell me, they're a $1 trillion company. I only got 25,000, or a $1 trillion company. I only got 10,000.
Only got 10,000.
People have told me like I only got 5, I only got 3. I can tell you this one story, and this is the value. So when I say don't be scared to take, even if you take my small business friends, I give them 2,500. Every dollar helps to help with the cost of the business, but people get lost in the dollar amount versus the brand. The brand is a bigger win for you than the actual dollar. If you can show the value to your company to a larger corporation, that they're in partnership with you.
Gotcha.
But I tell the story all the time. There was a woman that has a women's veterans interactive program, I helped a woman go from $3,000 to $50,000. So that's really what I want to say. So she started off with $3,000 with a brand, and then we grew to 50.
I remember it was 2-3 years ago. I was BET invited me out to speak in Chicago, right? Yeah, that was a big deal for me too.
Yeah.
Can I tell you a quick story about that?
Of course, please.
So BET was emailing us for months, right? And then my CEO, shout out to the mayor, she thought it was spam. She's like, man, BET not hitting us up, right?
Right. We were like, is BET in my line for real?
So I came to InvestFest, and the BET reps were at InvestFest. Yeah. They saw us at the VIP night. Speaking of getting in the room, right? I was at the VIP night. They said, Harmon. I was like, hey. And they was like, we've been emailing you for 3 months. I was like, oh, okay. Who are you? We're BET. And then my CEO looks at me and I was like, you guys were real? She's like, yes, we real. We want you to come talk to the youth. And
Oh my God, I love that.
They flew me out to Chicago. We had an amazing time. And that's one of the first times I really started to see sponsorship dollars at work. BET threw an amazing event. And even in my head, I was like, this is expensive. But who are their sponsors? McDonald's, Dove, Gillette, NBA 2K, PlayStation. Yeah. Like they had PlayStation room. You could only play 2K. Dove was doing facial for the young men, and Gillette was Gillette was giving haircuts. Yeah. I was like, wow, this is major. That segues into a question I have. Is there
Before you ask a question, I was gonna say I was there that year because I helped them get their first sponsor.
From
the company I was at. Yeah, so it was the company I was at, BET, and there was a tech company. So we all were the first 3 sponsors for InvestFest that year.
That is crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
Yeah,
that is crazy.
So I was there. So I'm surprised I didn't run into you backstage, but yeah,
that is crazy. My question to that is there a limit of how many sponsors you can get for an event?
Nope.
Because those were big sponsors.
Because look at InvestFest now. They had 3 of us that first year, and now they have a plethora of them, right? So there's never a limit. The only time that it gets tricky is when there's like too many financial institutions, too many tech institutions. So sometimes I'll have like platinum sponsor and this sponsor. So at this level, you get that. Some sponsors will be like, I only want to be the only financial institution as a sponsor. Then you have to pay for that.
Oh, pay for that. You have to pay for exclusivity.
Exactly. Because we'll have 4 other companies that are in financial space that want to be a part of it. So if I'm losing money on that, then you got to cover that. But if not, then you all play in the sandbox and just be the best man win. But there's never, it's like, because if I'm losing out on 4 other corporate sponsors that are in financials, then you got to cover that cost that they were going to pay to be the exclusive only sponsor. But yeah, there's never a limit. It's amazing that corporations want to back you and be a part of what you have going on.
Tell me about the community that you have where you are teaching people this information.
It's my baby. So it's funny. I did the event called In the Room Where the Deals Are Done. That was my first part of my business. And at each event, I interview, like I said, a multimillionaire that has made it. So I've interviewed Egypt Shavada, Mike Jackson, the first one, Yandy Smith Harris, the second one, Dr. Eric Thomas, the third one, and the fourth one was Angela Yee.
Ooh, you got some big people.
Right? And it was new. And the craziest thing is, all of those people I've helped with some form of fashion along the way before I needed something. So when I went on my own,
it was an easy phone call.
Yeah, I was like, y'all, I'm doing this thing. I'm doing it scared. And my husband's like, stop saying scared. God got you. I'm like, you're right. And they were like, Nick, just show me where I need to be. Because I had already built up that relationship capital. I always helped them and never asked for anything. And so when it was time for me to go on my own, tell me where I need to be. So I was like, look at God. So Myron
Goldman says, be transformational before you're transactional. Be of service first.
Before, yep. And I would get into that book because that tip is in the book. So I did these events, and then people were like, we want more from you. We want to learn from you. Like, who are you? What do you have going on? Because my events are centered around my sponsors, the interviewee. And so I never really talked about Nichole. And so when I had the book come out, they're like, we want more. I'm like, I'm going to start a community. I had one member. One member. Listen. And I said, I know how to be a Wall Street executive, but I didn't know how to be an entrepreneur. So what does it take to be an entrepreneur? And every month I would bring on an expert to talk to me and my one member to say, okay, you need business funding. You need to make sure you have AI, systems, marketing.
Legit, one member, and you still brought people in to talk.
I went from one member to 3 or 4. So it was like 4 or 5 of us in a call on a Monday night at 7 p.m. And I said, y'all, I'm going to use my resources. I always say I have resources, people, assets. I'm going to use them to help me grow as an entrepreneur. If you want to be a part of this,
come take this ride with me.
Come take this ride with me. And I think it was like $60 to get in at the time. It's $147 now a month because I've added so much more value. But yeah, that's what we did. And then I said, okay, well, get office hours with me. I know financials. I know how to be an executive. I could talk to you too for an hour. So that's what we did. And then I grew to like 14 members. And then I was around 20 for a while. And then I just hit 40 members, I think, yesterday.
Congratulations.
Mind you, thank you. I'm only in the business 8 months. I just was sharing with you.
Yeah.
But it's grown. So you get office hours with me, and now I have consultation fees. So outside of my agency, people have to pay me to consult with me for my institutional knowledge. You get a Mindset Monday coach. She started off as a member. This woman started off as a member.
Nice.
And she said, I want to start a coaching business. I hired her. So now she's our coach. And then the third one is we bring an expert every single month. So I've had Dr. Contessa on last month. She talked about public health. She's on TV for Married to Medicine. I've had Jour Tankard on talking about real estate. So that's every month I have an expert come on in every area of business to talk about how to grow and scale and what we need. And so that's how it grew. And I have to tell you this, yesterday, we met on Monday. And I had a new member join. And when every member joins, I ask you, what are your 2026 goals? And I make you say it out loud so that everybody in the community can hear, because there could be somebody on here that can help you. And one of her goals was, I'm finishing up Wharton, April 8th. I'm done. Wharton, right.
Whoa.
She's finishing up Wharton.
And she's in your community.
In my community. My community has 6, 7, 8-figure entrepreneurs. Because I said, we have 7 figures. Somebody was like, well, I'm 8 figures. I said,
Oh, I beg your pardon. My bad.
Right, I got 8 figure. And I'm like, well, why are you in this community? He's like, I need community because entrepreneurship is lonely. And so I come in here and you guys feed my soul. I'm always going to be a part of this. So stuff like that. So I didn't even know he was 8. I didn't know I had an 8-figure one in there, but happy to have him. So she goes, I'm finishing up Wharton business school, and I don't know if I want to go into entrepreneurship and I join your community to figure out entrepreneurship, or if I want to get a corporate job. There's just one job I want at Netflix. Just one job. And she flew to Vegas to Black Enterprise, where I spoke at, to meet Bozeman St. John, who was one of the speakers. She met her, but she didn't talk about the job. So a lady in the community goes, well, what group is it? And she told her, she goes, oh, my friend works in that group. Send me your resume. I'll send it right now. I said, drop the mic. Like, that's the power of community. You're talking about this one job that you want at this major Fortune 500 company. And somebody in my community says, my friend works in that exact department.
Right.
Send me your resume. Like, you can't put a price on that.
You cannot. It's invaluable.
Invaluable.
It's invaluable. That's actually very powerful. You have a high level community.
Thank you.
That's crazy. A bunch of 7-figure earners already in there. That is super, super dope. What is your goal? I'm asking you your goal.
Yeah.
What's your goal for 2026 to the subscribers you want in that community?
200.
You want 200 people.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the pathway to get to that?
So my financial advisor, every month I have to, we track for 100. I said 100, but I feel like I'm thinking too small. Mm-hmm. So to get to 100, I have to do like 9 a month because I'm at 40 or something like that. Mm-hmm. So to 200, I guess it's closer to 20 a month.
Mm-hmm. Do you have an affiliate program?
So we have affiliate. So if you bring a member in, you get 1 month free.
Okay.
Yeah, like if you bring a member in and they stay for 3 months, you get the 4th month paid for.
Pay for it, yeah. That's a good, because my mentees, we pay them $25 every time they send somebody in.
Oh, nice.
We pay them $500 every time they bring somebody in for funding. So definitely the incentive, and they grow because, believe it or not, when you have a good community, people are just going to talk about you anyway.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, somebody was like, yeah, man, I had my man signed up last week. And I was hearing that a lot. And I was like, oh, let me pay y'all for doing that. And they were like, for real? Yeah. I was doing it for free. I was like, no, I want to incentivize you for doing that because I appreciate it because you're making me money. But I want to bring some value to you too.
There's one other guy I want to mention in my community. His name is Chris. Mm-hmm. And I did Angelique's radio show to promote my event.
I saw that.
And thank you. And he said, Nichole, I always make sure I have your money every single month. It's $100, but he's just always like, I gotta share your money. But he said, when I join your community, so he's from Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. He lost his vision to gun violence. He was in the streets, yes.
Wow.
And so he signed up. He heard me on Angelique. He's like, I'm going to sign up for this. I don't know what this program is, but I'm signed up. He said, I got my credit fixed because he wanted business funding. You have to have good credit to get business funding.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He got his credit fixed, and then we helped him with his confidence. He said he wasn't confident. I had a speaker come on, one of my guest speakers, to talk about how to get paid to public speak and get paid a decent amount. So he goes, I charge $500. And she goes, oh, you need to put a comma in that. You need $5,000. He was like, wait, you're going to run my customers away. Like, what you mean $5,000? And so she said, no, you have a valuable story. Like, you're a father, you lost your vision, and you're navigating this world as an entrepreneur. People need to hear that. The next month he called us, or he got on the call, the group call, and was like, girl, I got paid $5,000 to fly to Cali. They paid him $4,000 in cash and gave him another $1,000 for his flight to Cali to speak to a community and for food and travel. I said, look at that. He said, you got my confidence. He said that $5,000 helped me run my podcast. Like, those are the things that's happening in the community. We're giving you confidence. And this last week, on Monday, he said he's the official ambassador for the blind of the city of New York.
Oh, wow. That's major.
That's what I said. I'm like, oh, I got a celebrity in my group.
That's what's up.
That's what's up.
Let's get into this entrepreneurship game a little bit, because you said a couple of things that were interested. You have a subscription program. Is one what a month? $147.
It's $147 a month.
$147 a month, and you also have a high ticket.
Yeah. So the high ticket is a corporate sponsorship.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's the high ticket.
What do you charge for that?
That's $25,000.
$25,000.
So there's two parts of it. Mm-hmm. So it's $25,000 for white glove service. So what you'll realize and what people don't know is sponsorship is all a relationship game. Mm-hmm. Everything in the world is a relationship game. Mm-hmm. But because I was head of sponsorships and I also been in Wall Street and I also been a corporate executive for so long, 21 years, I have relationships out of this world.
All those relationships.
Yeah.
All those connections.
All these connections. And because I actually did it, mm-hmm. I know what it takes. I know how to speak the language mm-hmm. of like, how do we fund both parties, right? Mm-hmm. And so so the $25,000 is the white glove service where we create your deck for you. We tell you who you should be partnering with. We send out the email, like we do all the work, and then I reach out to my network as well on your behalf. So that's the white glove service. We have a $5,000 service where you meet with me 2 times, and I give you the sponsorship game. You get to ask me any questions. We tell you what should be in your deck, and I can give you like maybe 2 or 3 contacts at these organizations that you may want to work at. So so there's 2 programs. So the $25,000 is we do everything for you, and then $5,000 is you do it all yourself, but you get to consult and pick my brain, and we give you like some of the top gyms you need to know to get started to get a corporate sponsor.
When it comes to this entrepreneur game, I know Alex Hormozi, he says just solve rich people problems. They pay better.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Who are your best clients? The $25,000 client, or the $147 client, or the client that's in your DMs asking you a million questions.
Oh my God. I know it's the free ones the free ones are not my best. My best ones are like, so my $25,000 clients are successful people. Mm-hmm. And so like they have a team and we just get it done and we just work well. And it's easier for me to help them get dollars because they already have a brand name in the community. But it's a fine dance because I used to give everything away for free. Mm-hmm. I connected people. I got people deals. Everybody got things for free. And I told this story last night. I was on another podcast, and Dr. Eric Thomas, one of my good friends, he was doing a conference. And he called me and said, Nick, I'm doing a conference. My daughter loves you. Can you help me get women speakers? And let me rewind that because I want to talk about this too. Sorry, because I think this is important. Uh-huh. E.T. the hip hop preacher. I don't know how many people know him out there, but if you know him out there, put some fire in this chat or in this thing, right? Uh-huh. I met him in 2000 and maybe 18 or 17. He was speaking at a conference, and my friend at work was like, Nichole, oh, that's my boy from college. Go tell him I said hi. I told y'all from Jersey, worked in New York. We don't speak to strangers, right? Like I was like, I don't know him like that. He doesn't know me like that. But they had a VIP section. If you had a VIP ticket, there was a meet and greet. Mm-hmm. So I meet ET, and I'm like, your boy Larry said hello. He was like, oh, that's my boy. We went to Oakwood together, like blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, bye. Like nice to meet you, whatever.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, like I didn't go to college with him, but I was just like, I'm just relaying the message. So that happens. Fast forward to 2020. Pinky Cole was doing a thing called Sesh Sessions, where she was interviewing executives and entrepreneurs all in one room. And so,
believe it or not, I sponsored one of those.
Amazing.
Yeah, believe it or not.
Because you saw the value to get your brand out there, right? Because she was looking for sponsors too, because she hit me up like, hey, I want to get sponsors. But I was one of the speakers. Mm-hmm. I was a speaker, and E.T. was a speaker. So we're in the green room looking at each other like, where do we know each other from? We couldn't figure it out. And I said, oh, I met you at
your boy Larry.
And at the Forbes event. Yeah. So I said, what do you do? And he says,
You asked E.T. what he does?
I didn't know him.
Oh, you didn't know E.T.
Yeah,
Got
I didn't know him.
Got you.
He doesn't know me. I mean, I said, he don't know me, I don't know him, but I didn't know him.
Okay.
So I said, what do you do? And he's like, because we were getting ready to go on stage to be a part of the Sesh Session. And I said, he said, I'm a public speaker. I said, oh, okay. And I said, I work in finance. At the time, I was still working on Wall Street. And I said, well, what are you working on? Mm-hmm. Like, what is something that keeps you up? And he said, Nichole, I make all this money, but my biggest fear is that when I leave this earth, my kids don't know how to sustain it. Mm-hmm. Which is, right?
It's a real thing.
It's a real thing. Mm-hmm. And so I said, well, I work in finance. I can help you with that. Didn't know him from a can of paint. Like I said, we met once, and this is the second time. And so every week, Dr. Eric Thomas, his son and his daughter, we all got on a call every week together, and somebody else from the bank, and we helped them estate plan for his children. And Jalen and Jada, that's his kids' names, and they are so amazing. Like, his daughter is really good at operational business management. His son is so creative. He has a book, a clothing line. So we all helped them with the businesses and saying, okay, this is the part of business you're going to run. This is what you need to know to keep this going.
So E.T. a man's.
Oh, yeah, that's my people.
Because that's family. You really help with a big problem.
Help with a big problem. And I didn't know the masses that I didn't know him.
You still didn't know who E.T. was.
He was.
He was just another client.
And I led with value. So when we talk about the book, I led with value, which is so important. Mm-hmm. And so he said, so that happens. So then he calls me up and he goes, this is like after, I know he did the program with his kids. Mm-hmm. He goes, I'm doing a conference. My daughter loves you. She wants more women at the conference. You know a ton of amazing women. And so I said, yeah, I do know a ton of amazing women. I said, and I told my husband, like, I don't do conferences. Like, why is he asking me this? And so my husband was like, but you do know a lot of people and you know how to do a conference. So help him. So I reached out to 3 women that were multimillionaires, have a presence in the community that would be amazing speakers. One of the women was Yandy. Mm-hmm. And I said, Yandy, do you want to do this conference for E.T.? She said, oh my God, of course. E.T. saved my daughter's life. Every time people found out that E.T. was my friend, they would be like, he saved my life. He changed my life. He got me out of, like, I said, who is, like, I was like, E.T., who are you? Yeah. That always came behind of what the impact he had on somebody's life. So she's like, I would love to do it. So when I was asking the 3 women that were speakers, what's their fee? Because E.T. was like, tell me their full fee. I don't shortcut nobody. Mm-hmm. I want my money I want my fee when I charge. I want to pay people their fee when they charge. So when I got to Yandy, I said, what's your fee? And she told me. Then she said, what's your fee? And Harmon, I'm looking at the phone like, and out of all 3 of them, I was the closest with her. Yeah. So if I'm going to charge somebody, I wouldn't charge her.
Right.
And so I said, what do you mean, what's my fee? I know I just got to tell me what your price is so that I can give it to E.T. so he can pay you. She said, if I get $1, Nichole, you get a percentage of that because you brought me a deal that I wouldn't have had. Light bulb. Right. I'm like, then I'm like, so, yeah.
Bing, bing, bing.
Bing, bong, bing, bong. Right. I'm like, so wait, what do people charge? Because I never charge. I've been connecting people to deals, 6, 7 figure, 8 deals.
Ain't nobody call you to like, yo, good look.
Never. I never received a dime.
Nichole.
I'm a servant leader at heart. Like, I want to help and give. And that's why even when you're asking me questions, like, a part of my business is the sponsorship. So I have to be careful that I don't give all my sauce away for free, because that's a part of my community.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm an open book. I want to make the next person better. I'm the first person in my family to go to college and end up on Wall Street at 21 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So I fought the fight so that other people didn't have to fight it. So if I can help you, connect you, give you certain things, I'm going to do it. I've been connecting people for free my whole entire life. And so Yandy was the first person in 2020 to say, what's your fee?
Wow. What's your fee? That's what's up.
And so from there, I was like, well, what do people charge? And she's like, anywhere between 5, 10, 15%. Yeah, whatever you get. And so for her, now when somebody asks me for a speaker, who the first person I'm going to suggest? Of course her, because she sees the value. And so that is where I talk about in the book too, like, when somebody does something for you, make sure you look out for them. Like you said, you have an affiliate program, right? It's
you got to take it. Yeah, like, I wouldn't have made this little $50. Like, thank you. Here's $25, and I give them half.
Yeah, she got thousands of dollars, and it was like, I'm gonna give you a percentage. So when back to ET, so when I asked him to do my event, ET charges 6 figures to show up, y'all.
Yeah.
See? And they pay it because he's that good. So when it was time to do my event, I was like, easy, I don't have the 6 or the 5. Like, what we doing here?
I don't have the 6 or the 5.
Like, what
or the 4.
doing? Right? What we doing? He was like, Nick, just tell me where I need to be. You looked out for me and my kids. I will always support you. And I was like, that was like how Tyler was like, just keep going. ET said that to me. And so ET came to my event as a speaker. And he said, what's important to you right now in this moment? I said, I need to grow this membership community. So at the time, I think it was around 12 or 15. Mm-hmm. I said, because what I'm giving these people is so valuable. Mm-hmm. Information, access, tools, resources. I need the world to know. Mm-hmm. He got on stage and said, I am buying 20 memberships for Nichole right now. For the first 20 people, I will pay for you the first month, because Nichole invested in me and my children. I will forever help her. So not only did he come as a speaker, he invested in my business on the spot. That's how good of a man he is.
That's major.
Isn't it?
That's major. And to have ET stamp you, your business, probably more people came out because his name was attached to it.
That was my most successful event. Each event I have about 150 people. That one I had over almost 300 people.
Just because he was going to be there. So low key, he was your sponsor.
He was my sponsor. Right. He was my sponsor. It's funny because my pastor always says, because my pastor was like, I want ET to speak at my thing. I was like, well, he charged 6 figures and we don't have to. He was like, I know, but we worked it out, and he spoke at my. Now they're the best of friends. And my pastor was like, ET's gonna blow you up, and I was like, that's just my homie. But the fact that he stamps my business,
right.
I'm literally flying to Chicago in 2 weeks because I helped him with sponsorship. And
the rest is history.
The rest is history.
Let's go back a little bit, right? Because I want to talk to the entrepreneurs that are listening to this that's afraid to leave their job. Because I'm going to ask you a personal question. You was making 6 figures.
Yes, the high 6 figures.
The high 6 figures. And you left that to go work 80, 90, 100 hours a week and start your own business and ask somebody for $140 a month. Are you crazy? Are you crazy?
I know, I'm like, God, what you got me doing down here? God, what is going on?
So tell me the last 30, 60, 90 days before you decided to quit. How'd you make that decision? What was it?
Yeah. So you know what's funny? They always say, like, when God wants you to move, he'll throw little pebbles. Then he'll throw rocks.
Lying.
Then a boulder will come because he's like, I told you.
He's like, you don't listen. Yeah.
And so for me, I launched a business because the name The Master Connector came from my husband, but the business came from God. He woke me up in the middle of the night. He always talks to me between 3 and 4 in the morning. I'm like, God, I'm trying to rest. But every time, 3 or 4 in the morning, he'll come to me. Mm-hmm. It's the quiet time. It's the time for him and I. Gets on my husband's nerves because I be on my phone in the middle of the night taking my notes. And he be like, babe, the lighting from your phone. Mm-hmm. But so he woke up in the middle of the night and he's like, you're going to create a room with your network. My network is sick, y'all. I have a vast network because my network consists of corporate executives, industry leaders, entrepreneurs, public and civic figures. Like, I have my phone is worth millions of dollars. Who's the people on my phone? So he said, you're going to create a room called the room where the deals are done. Because on Wall Street, because I was a VP and I was an equity trader, I had access to a lot of information inside rooms. Mm-hmm. And I wanted people to have access to information. Mm-hmm. Corporations need the amazing entrepreneurs like yourself and others that are doing things in the community to help get their messaging out. You need corporations because they have business funding, business acumen, and more resources than a regular entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. So they need each other. So I'm like, all right, God, I'm going to create a room called the Room where the Deals Are Done. Interview my friends that have a platform like ET and Egypt and all of them, like the rest of them. And I'm going to do this. I was new to Atlanta, so I didn't know what it was going to look like. Mm-hmm. I came from New York. I'm new to Atlanta. It's a ticketed event. people don't really like buying tickets in Atlanta anywhere, right?
Yeah.
That's a whole other thing, right? But I'm
right.
like, the value and the access and what I'm putting on, you want to be in this room. Because your next job opportunity, your next business is in this room.
It's in this room.
You're in the room with the decision makers. You're in the room with the people that can write a check for you. And so God was like, you're going to create this thing. And I said, okay, God, I'm new here, but just guide me. So I did it. The first event was so successful. Like I said, the mayor came out, the old and the new, to congratulate me on doing this. Over 150 tickets sold. People were like, this event changed my life. I met some people to get me to the next level. So I was still working full time.
Yeah.
You have to get a lot of approvals when you work at a corporation. So I had to get my business approved, everything. And then I started getting speaking engagements. I had to get all that improved. So it became a lot. And then I made my first 6 figures in 6 months.
Oh, wow.
I made my first six figures.
And then you can't unsee that.
You can't unsee that because I had the sponsorships.
Yeah.
Amazon and Puma came on, helped me get to 6 figures faster.
Mm-hmm.
And so God was like, it's time to go. And then I was getting asked to speak on different podcasts, different organizations. Like I was getting asked to speak. I was an author. I was on radio stations. I was on TV.
Yeah.
And so it started taking a leg of its own. And I tell people, once you bet on yourself and you operate in your God-given talents, it soars. He gives us these talents. It's a gift for us to give away, but it soars once we start betting on ourselves. Mm-hmm. So once I was obedient and took the leap and bet on Nichole, I was like, oh, I'm out here. And then I was like, okay, let me go. Like, I'm just going to make the decision and go full time. Let me tell you this, though. Mm-hmm. I left July 11th. August 1st, that mortgage hits. And that 6-figure corporate check is not in the...
It's not in the account.
Not in the account, Herman. I'm like, wait. Because I've been on Washington since I was 21. There was a 6-figure check waiting for me every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
Just there. Like, I never had to think about it. Now I'm an entrepreneur. That 6-figure check is not sitting in that account on August 1st when that mortgage is there. So I'm like, oh, wait, maybe I need to go get a job again. Mm-hmm. Because entrepreneurship, yes, you may make 6 figures in 6 months, but expenses are wild.
Are wild.
So people don't have to look at that part too. Mm-hmm. And so it costs so much money to run a business. People don't know that, but it costs a lot of money to run a business.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Successful business. Mm-hmm. So I said, oh, let me get a job. God said no. And I said, well, God, you know my mortgage, you know my bills. Like, what do you mean no?
Didn't I tell you to quit? I got you.
I gave you this business. And let me tell you what my husband said, Herman, your fellow Haitian brother. He said, you gave too much credit to that institution you worked for 21 years because I always was a Wall Street executive, an equity trader. Like, that's why I prided myself because it's hard to be on Wall Street as a black woman and an equity trader at that, right?
Yeah.
But my husband said God wanted the glory in your story. You give too much credit to that corporation. You are the gift. He gave you those talents. He wants the glory. So this business, the Master Connector Agency, on my shirt and everywhere, is from God. So everywhere I lead he gave me the vision for this. So I was like, all right, God, you're right. Like, you got it. And every day I figure it out. I ask Tyler Perry, like, what do you do? Because it's scary. But every day I went out, sometimes I'm like, oh, I want to just go get a job. Because that's easy.
It's easy.
He put something in my lap. And the last thing I want to say is, I just came back from Vegas 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Black Enterprise flew me out there to speak about the Master Connector Agency and the company I built and the community I built. My old company was a sponsor there. So they sponsored me to be on stage indirectly, right? Because they're a sponsor. And I saw all my old coworkers and they're like, oh, you're here. I'm like, yeah, they flew me out. Had I still been at that organization, I would not have been able to speak at that conference about the Master Connector Agency.
Wow.
I would have to talk about their products and what they're doing. But now I can talk about the products that God gave me to promote and sell. So I'm telling everybody, that's your message to know, like, identify what your gift is, because your gift will make room for you. And God, once you take the leap of faith, you soar. You soar. But identify what your gift is and do it scared. Just do it anyway.
Do it anyway. My story with that was, I remember I went on a guy's trip. We went to Costa Rica. Mm-hmm. We had a time. ATV riding through the city. Like, it was so much fun. We got like this massive compound. It wasn't even like, it was a castle. The thing was huge, right? Nice. And I get back home. I'm in my cubicle at work. And I started getting migraines that week. Like, headaches every day. Like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? I felt like the walls were closing in. So I decided to fast, right? Because it wasn't physical. I felt it was something bigger. And then literally the first day of the fast, my man Fitz, shout out to Fitz, he was like, yo, I don't know what's going on, but God told me to tell you, quit your job. He said it just like that.
And what kind of fast did you do, by the way? Was it just water or?
It was a Daniel fast, fruit, vegetables, and water.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, okay, like, that was weird. The next day, so now it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday, my wife calls me. She's like, hey, got a message for you. Fear and faith Can I occupy the same space? Mm-mm. And I was like, that is crazy for you to say that. Because I was clearly scared. So then I was like, okay, I'm going to quit my job. I set a date. I was like, December 31st, 2019. I was like, I'm going to quit my job. And then so I forgot the next message that happened that Wednesday. And he's like, I told you to quit your job. I didn't tell you December. I was like, I told you to quit your job now. So I went to work on Thursday. I put in my 2 weeks, right? And then, you know, my boss was sad about it because that's family, that's folks. And then I go home. God was like, didn't I tell you quit your job? I was like, I did. He's like, no, I said quit your job today.
Oh, wow.
I didn't say put it 2 weeks. You put 2 weeks in as a favor if I can go back or I need a reference. He's like, you'll never work for anybody again. So that Friday, I brought back the laptop and I was like, I'm not going to give you 2 weeks. I'm just leaving. And she was upset about it. Yeah. But I was like, it didn't matter. I had to be obedient to God. The next week, somebody flew me out to Miami. I watched her go to 3 banks and raise $250,000 in a day and came back the same day. Wow. Like we was in Miami for a day. So it took like 12 hours to do. I couldn't unsee it. Right. And that was the seeds of starting my funding company. Because that was in my world, that referral fee is $25,000. Wow. And then my life was never the same after that. So being obedient. And it did help that I had a year saved up of money in my account for bills. So that did help. And the following week after that, Nichole, my wife tells me she's pregnant. With our second child. So if she had told me she was pregnant while I had a job, I would have been like, I'm keeping the job. Yeah. I'm not quitting the job at all. How has marriage and entrepreneurship, like, because you're working more now, how are you balancing life right now?
Everybody was asking me that. And I just want to say something about the fast. So my brother brought this up to me the other day. Last year, I was fasting like crazy. I did a 14-day water fast. 14-day water fast.
That is serious.
Angela Yee said we're going to do it together. And then I don't know what happened, but I did a 14-day water fast. I started fasting a lot. And I didn't even know about this journey that God was going to have me on. But fasting more. And then this year I said I'm going to read the Bible cover to cover. So it's like he kind of prepares you. And that fast, you can have so much clarity. I had clarity out of this world. So fasting is important. Now I try to fast at least once a month just with water. Nothing but water. So that I can hear God and I read the Bible at the same time. But having a husband, oh my God, when I say he's my rock, like, one, he brought me closer to God when I was married to him. Like, we got baptized together. Like, I started reading. Oh, wow. Yeah, he was already baptized. I was like, can you do it with me? He was like, sure, babe. So we did it together. I read the Bible. He reads the Bible like 24/7. And now I need to be more like him. But he was an entrepreneur before me for 12 years.
Okay.
So I said, God, you knew who my soulmate should be because I knew nothing about entrepreneurship. So he sat down with me, helped me with my EIN number, tax ID, decide a website, get like everything that I needed to learn. He showed me how to do it. And then, like I said, whenever times get hard, he's like, the other day when I met Tyler, I said, I'm doing it scared. And I'm on, you can get some video, whatever. And he was like, babe, that's the last time you say you scared? He said, you got to have faith to fail. What your wife told you, you can't operate in fear and have faith at the same time. You're not scared. You're doing it. And I said, but I made a high 6 figures every 2 weeks. He said, but God's paying you every day.
Yay.
God is paying me every day. And I didn't even think about that. And like the opportunity. So he's always my center and my rock to bring me back down and be like, you're doing this. And I'm like, but I don't have a job. He's like, but you have a business. So he's always that positive, like, you're doing it, babe. Like, look at the rooms. Like, I said 8 months. I've been on TV, radio, flown across. Like, it's crazy. And once you say yes to God and your gifts and you operate and be obedient, you soar. I promise you. It's not easy. Because for me, I'm very structured. Coming from finance, I'm very structured. I know what's coming in. I know what's going out. Entrepreneur every day. I'm like, okay, God, what are we doing today? Like, he's my boss. I literally told my husband 3 days ago, I work for God. Yeah. Literally, he's my boss. I hear him at night. He tells me what I need to be doing. I pray every single stage I come on, even your podcast. I say, God, give me the words to impact at least one person in this audience. Let me know what you need me to tell them so that I can help the next person. Because I'm a servant leader at heart. Like, that's what I love to do.
And that's what you like to do. Nichole, in 5 to 10 years, right? Because believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, she just went full time. How long ago?
8 months.
8 months ago. Just went full time. So congratulations on that. You have to celebrate the year, joint. Like when you're a year into it, you got to celebrate because the mortgage was paid every day, every month. You ate, the car note was paid. God sustained you.
God sustained me
for that year. So definitely do that. Where do you see yourself, the business and the community in 5 to 10 years?
So it's funny. People used to ask me that when I became an equity trader on Wall Street. Where do you see yourself 5 to 10 years? I am never really good at that because I thought, Nichole Jour thought that I would retire from a financial institution after 65, just work my job, get my 6-figure check, and that's it.
And that's it.
God was like, no, girl, I need you to do this and build your own business. And I'm like, no. And I went not wanting to go. I'm like, I could do both. Or like, no. He said, I can't prosper you until you do this. But 5 to 10 years, I want to impact as many people as I can. I want to give them information to make them a better person. When you meet me, I want you to leave better than when you met me. That is my goal. I want the membership community to be at 1,000 members. I want the Master Connector Agency to be a household name.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that everybody knows how to get corporate sponsorships, make the corporations better. Like, my goal is to help impact and help as many people as I can in 5 to 10 years. And like I said, for the business to be a household name, that I'm on platforms letting you know what you need to grow and scale, how to identify what your gifts are, and let everybody know you're going to be okay.
I'm a believer that where you are right now is a training ground for where God wants you to be later, right? So Moses, he was a shepherd of sheep before he was a shepherd of men. What did Wall Street teach you? Like the one thing it really taught you that you take and use in your business right now?
Business acumen.
Okay.
Business acumen, because a lot of times entrepreneurs are very creative, and like, oh, we'll get to it then. I'm very structured. Like, I follow up. When are we meeting? I put meetings on account. Like, I'm very structured. And then also financials, right? Like, knowing what's coming in, what's going out. Like, I look at my Excel spreadsheet every single day on my numbers. So Wall Street taught me like business acumen, how to do good business, how to have those conversations with executives, because I was an executive, and financials, how to manage financially, make sure I'm straight.
How to manage financially. Nichole, if someone wants to hire you to help them get sponsored for their conference, their business, or they want to learn about how to do it themselves, talk to us about what that looks like.
Yeah, so you can find me. My Instagram is @themaster_connector, but my website is www.themasterconnectoragency.com. And that's how you'll reach out. On my website, you can book a consultation. I teach classes. I'm actually doing a class right now, a 6-week cohort with a woman named Jackie, who was on Wall Street for 30 years. So together we're coming 50 years of knowledge from both of us. Yeah. So we're doing a 6-week course at $697 for the next 6 weeks. So you can sign up for that, because I'll be talking about corporate sponsorship, the art of networking, and the corporate pivot. Over 600,000 women lost their jobs, and over 300,000 men have lost their jobs. We're almost at 1 million of people that are unemployed and out of work. And so I'm here to let them know, and you too, that you can do it. You have to identify what your gift is, figure out your price point for your gift. The first time I did a sponsorship for somebody, I charged them $1,000, and I just give it to, I just say, and I was so excited, y'all, that
to
somebody
get your $1,000,
right, and they were like, Nichole, the money that you're bringing me in, this is worth way more than that. I'm like, oh, but now the price is, like I said, $25,000 for white glove service, or $5,000 for the consultation. But when you know the value of what you have and how you're changing people's lives, that's your price point.
You're unapologetic about it.
You're unapologetic about it.
1,000%. Like when I so I have again my community, we're meeting up in a couple of weeks. Some people pay $75,000 to $10,000 to be in the room, but literally people have already started funding people. They say, Herman, there was one client, I have the screenshot of it. He funded somebody $300,000.
Wow.
He consulted them, showed them how to do it. $300,000. His commission was $30,000. So was his investment of $7,500 worth it?
Of
Absolutely.
course, exactly.
Absolutely.
And you say, invest in yourself. Invest in your business. Like I said, running a business costs money, but invest in that training. Work with people that can do things easier. Like, I have to hire a team. I hate doing PowerPoints. I hate doing tech stuff. I have a team that does that.
Yeah, I ain't doing it.
I'm not doing it. I spend my time on the things that I'm good at, which is connecting people, doing it. Like, that's where I focus my time. Help people get corporate sponsorships. My team does all the tech. Even when you want to sign up with us to get a corporate sponsorship, you're going to talk to my team, because they're going to tell you what you get.
Right.
And then once you're ready and you make your deposit, then you'll talk to me, and I'll give you the bells and whistles.
Exactly. I don't do anything that is not of high value to my brand or my business. I have other people that do that are good at what they do. They're better at PowerPoints, texting, calling, sales. So whatever money I make, that's where a lot of that goes, to putting the best people around me.
Yeah.
So you gave us your website, you gave us your Instagram. We appreciate you so much for coming out and giving us this knowledge.
Yeah.
So if you want to learn how to get sponsorships and also get partnerships.
Partnerships, good
If
job.
you want to get with the amazing connector and all her resources, definitely tap in. All of the links that she's talking about, we're going to put them in the YouTube description.
And I wanted to say one more thing, Herman, the book. So
oh, yes.
In the book, it's all about how I made it out of Newark, New Jersey, all the way to Wall Street, and the connections I made along the way. I told you my resources and the people I know are vast, right? Amazing people. Even Angela Yee with the forward to my book, and there's other celebrities in there that gave testimonies of how I've helped them. Yandy, Egypt, all of them. But what I was going to say, the top 3 networking tips, and I'm just going to give you all this gem while I'm on Herman's podcast, right?
Good.
The Haitian CEO is 1, lead with value. That is the number 1 networking tip. Lead with value. I told you how I led with value with Dr. Eric Thomas, and now he's one of my good friends, and we do business together. The second thing is following up. If you go to Harmon's conference and you meet 20 amazing people, make sure you follow up with them within 24 to 48 hours, 72 at max. Say it was a pleasure meeting you. I would love to schedule some time on your calendar, right? Because so many deals get lost in the follow-up. So make sure you follow up. And the last tip, I always want to make it the first one, but I make it the last one because I wanted to stick with you guys, is do good business.
Yes.
Doing good business is free marketing for yourself. If you do an amazing job, that's people going to tell, like, hey, I'm a part of this community. They helped me with X, Y, and Z. Go work with Nichole. She got me this amount of money in sponsorships. When you do good business, that's free marketing. So make sure that you are adding value when you meet somebody before you need something yourself, following up, and do good business.
That is an amazing way to wrap up the episode. I really appreciate that. Where can they find the book?
The book is going to be on my website as well, themasterconnectoragency.com. Hardcover is $34.99, and I also have a soft cover. When you order it, you'll get an autographed copy from me. So when you order it, I will autograph it and send it out to you. Yeah.
All right. That's really intimate. I appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, another episode of the Execute Podcast. I'll talk to you soon.